Hi there, and welcome to Let's Slow Down, a podcast for all of you who feel tired and stressed from this overwhelming world. Here we'll have fun, inspiring conversations about living life on our own terms and explore ways to ease the pace of our modern world, because life really is good when you're relaxed enough to be present for it. I'm your host, Anne-Marie Stolting, and I welcome you to this space where I hope to inspire you to slow down, because life is too short to let it go by in a blur. So take a deep breath, relax, and enjoy the show. Happy holidays, everybody. As I'm recording this, it's the beginning of December. It's here. It's hard to believe. This is episode 51 of the Let's Slow Down podcast. And today we're going to take a few minutes to talk about being simple and intentional this holiday season. Before I jump into that, I did want to remind you that I have a holiday giveaway going on right now. I would really appreciate if you're enjoying this podcast. Thank you for listening, by the way. I'd appreciate if you could share it with a friend, someone you think the message might resonate with. And I would especially appreciate if you would write a review, particularly on Apple, if that's where you listen. But if you can write a review anywhere, it would really help get this podcast out there more. That is one of my goals for the next year. I would like to share the Let's Slow Down message with as many people as possible. So if you share or write a review, let me know. DM me on social media or send me an email, and I will enter you into our giveaway to win one of Fiona Ferris's lovely books, Chic and Simple Christmas. If you haven't listened to the episode with Fiona yet, that was on a few weeks ago. I'd highly encourage it. She is just a joy and her accent's beautiful. I just love talking to her. Her spirit she's just a bright light. So definitely go back and listen to that if you'd like some holiday inspiration as well. And finally, in the show notes, there'll be the link for my 12 Days of Holiday Ease. Sign up for that to get 12 days of encouragement in your inbox. And it can help you set the tone for your day as you go through this busy season. So it's December. Recently, I've been interviewed for several other podcasts to talk about slowing down at the holidays. So I figured it would only make sense to do an episode like this for my listeners as well. I'm going to share a few things that I am trying to be mindful of this season. This is a hard time of year for me. I struggle because I feel like it's just really busy. There's so much going on. There are so many traditions to keep, so many people to see, and they're all great things. They're all really fun things that I look forward to, but there's a lot of them. Never mind the shopping and the eating and all that other stuff too. So December can be crazy, but with a few mindset tweaks and really setting an intention ahead of time, it can be very manageable and hopefully enjoyable and not too crazy. So obviously everyone's definition of not too crazy, not too busy is going to be different. Even in the same house, it's going to be different. My definition is pretty different from a few of the other people in my house, but we'll find a happy medium and it's going to be a happy holiday season. So a couple of things that I'm going to be working on this season all fall under the umbrella of less is usually more, with the shopping, with the schedules, with eating, drinking, all of it. Let's talk for a few minutes about gifts. We just had Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Amazon, and all the shopping websites are pretty much blowing up at this point, crashing. Everybody goes into this shopping frenzy. But thinking about gifts, really consider that less is more. There doesn't have to be a million presents. There's more to life than that. And who has time, kids or adults, to use a million new things anyway? So just keeping things, I don't want to say minimal, but somewhat under control this season. That'll certainly help your budget. And I think it'll also help keep you grounded and feeling at peace if you're not running around to all these stores as much or just constantly getting deliveries to your front door. I mean, sometimes there's days when if I order too many things ahead of time, I don't even remember what's in these boxes. So I don't know if that's just me, but I know especially with kids, they get overwhelmed. So less is better for them because if they get a million toys, when my kids were really little, I remember at Christmas we had to take breaks because between all the family members and just all the different scenarios where they got gifts, they were kind of like presented out. I know that sounds crazy, but they were. We would have to actually take a little bit of breaks because they'd open a present and they'd want to go play with it or explore it more. And then everyone's sitting around like, okay, no, open the next one, open the next one. They really don't need that. So examining, well, who are we doing these things for? Why are we doing these things? Taking a step back and thinking about that as we're going through this season can be helpful to reflect a little bit. And even in the moment, if that happens to you, okay, well, maybe one gift was enough for this toddler, couple gifts. It doesn't have to be a ton. Same goes for older kids and adults. Maybe giving a couple of presents means that you're getting that teenager who has really expensive taste, you're getting that person everything that they want this Christmas. And, it might be less boxes, but it might be more meaningful. Something to consider. Same goes for all of us adults exchanging. Well, I've gotten away from giving gifts with a lot of my family and friends. We choose to do other things. We do choose to focus more on the kids, especially for Christmas. But this afternoon, I am really looking forward to going to lunch with my best friend, Ronnie Philippatos. She has been a guest on the show. Actually, her episode was, I think it was number 2, and it's in the top 10. So if you didn't get a chance to listen to that one, or you weren't listening to Let's Slow Down back in episode 2, take a listen. Ronnie and I have been friends since we were little kids, and we've made it a tradition over the last few years, rather than exchange presents, we go to lunch. We have a Christmas lunch, and she's about to have a baby, so we had to squeeze this in a little earlier than usual. But we go to this pub that is beautifully decorated, and it just is so cozy. The food's really good, and we just catch up. We have a couple of hours where we're not rushed and we're not distracted with life and the kids and everything else. It's just the two of us. And we make sure that we squeeze this in. And I look forward to it so much each year. I know she does too. And it's been a really fun tradition that we've started. And that's where we choose to spend our time and money rather than buying a gift for each other. We have a really meaningful lunch. So, something to consider with the adults in your life, but also with the younger people in your life too. A really great experience that you could give to kids is maybe a weekend at a fun hotel with a pool in the wintertime when you don't get to go swimming as often, or maybe a ski trip or a beach trip or something along those lines where you're really making memories. Everybody's looking forward to it. Everybody gets to unwind while you're there. I personally find those to be really fun presents to both give and receive. So, things to consider. Now that it's December and I feel like the holiday decorating gets pushed up earlier and earlier each year. I mean, I was seeing Christmas trees up at the beginning of November this year. And I'm not going to lie, I was like, oh, I could go for that right now. But ours is just getting put up now, and that's fine. But considering less is more with decorations, there are so many possibilities and so many things out there that you can use to decorate inside your home, outside your home, your wardrobe. I actually have been trying to avoid Home Goods. Not that there's anything wrong with Home Goods. I love that store, but they do the holidays like no other. I mean, all holidays. I remember going in there right before Halloween, and I don't put up a lot of Halloween decorations, but when I tell you, I mean, it was just every Halloween decoration under the sun. And some of them were really tasteful and cute, but I had to remind myself that Halloween's not a huge holiday for me, and it's one day, and as all holidays are. And I don't need that item in my home. I can appreciate it in the store. I don't need to bring it home. Christmas is a bigger holiday for my family and I. And we do like to have our house decorated for a good month leading up to the big day. So we certainly have more Christmas decorations than any other holiday decoration. But as we are taking things out this year, I actually took only one or two things out so far. And I noticed that my 9-year-old was having so much fun putting them up and playing with them and just displaying them for everybody. So I do really think that there is something to be said for not having a ton of stuff out because it all sort of gets lost in the shuffle and it's not appreciated as much. So this year, as you decorate, maybe consider what your favorite decorations are, what means the most to you and your family, where you have the space to put them out and display them. And if there's certain things that aren't being used much, maybe it's time to donate them or just get rid of them. I mean, stuff doesn't last forever. So, something to consider with the decorations. And as you go to the stores, I'm actually trying to not go into these stores too frequently right now because it is just really busy out there and it's kind of stressful for me. So I just try not to do it too much. But just remember, if you see new decorations, again, ask yourself why you need to buy that. And maybe something is old and worn out and you're getting rid of it and you do need to replace that decoration. Or maybe there's a new decoration that you want to add to your holiday decor, but you don't need all of it. So I would encourage myself and all of you, if you're looking to minimize some of this stuff, to ask yourself those questions before making these purchases. December is 1 month. You have to store all of this stuff for the other 11 months of the year. So, something to consider, not only spending the money on it and spending the time to display it and put it up, but also the time it takes to take everything down and then the space to store it all year. These are just things to consider. And this is one great reason why less is usually more. Along those same lines, less clutter. For me, less clutter is always more, is always better. It improves my state of mind. It makes me feel much more grounded and calm and at peace and helps me think straight. I do not think straight with a lot of stuff around me. So, the decluttering episodes that I've done so far have been really fun, and I've gotten a lot of really positive feedback for you. So, if this is a topic that's interesting, go back and take a listen. Over the last couple months, there's been several decluttering experts that I've had the opportunity to talk to. And decluttering is a huge passion of mine because of the benefits that my family and I have seen from this. As you're taking more holiday stuff out, keeping in mind, keeping the clutter to a minimum can really help. And it can help just make it easier to keep your home clean. You probably have more people coming in and out around the holidays. So it just makes me feel more ready for that. It makes me feel like my house is ready for that. What I tend to do is take some things off of our shelves and bookshelves and counters and pack those away while I put the holiday decorations out. So that's one way that my house doesn't feel overwhelmingly busy and full this time of year. So maybe as you empty a holiday bin, you fill it with some of your traditional decor, put it away for the season while you're enjoying your holiday stuff. And then you can obviously make that swap again back in January. Anytime that I'm doing something like that, I use it as an opportunity to go through my things and just take stock. Does anything need to be thrown out? Is it worn out? Is it broken? Are we just past that season? Maybe there's some younger kid things that we're not really using anymore in our house. Then it's a great time to donate it to people who do have little kids or a charity store or get rid of it. One final way that less is usually more for me is with my diet, with food, with indulging, which is at an all-time high for me and for many of us around the holidays. All the eating, all the drinking. I mentioned I'm going out for a really fun lunch later. So I'm going to eat things that are a lot richer, more sugar than usual, just indulging, which is part of life, right? I think we all love food. So I'm not saying not to do that, but just keep it in moderation. On days that I know I have something, I plan to drink a lot of water and eat healthier. Maybe before, like for me, breakfast and dinner today is going to be lighter and healthy, very healthy because I'm going for a big lunch. So, same thing with all the sweets and desserts and alcohol, drinks, all of those things. I would just encourage you to think how you feel after too many days of eating like that. Generally, I just get really sluggish. I don't feel well. My stomach bothers me. I don't sleep that great. So trying to be mindful of how these foods impact us, not necessarily in the exact moment that we're eating it, but those after effects. Thinking about that and just keeping those in mind. I know it usually helps me go for that second helping of something or that second or third drink, or just keep it in moderation if you can, if you want to feel fresh and good this holiday season. So, the only time that I don't think less is more is with sleep. This time of year, there's a lot more things going on, probably more late nights than usual. I'm going to try to stick to my regular sleeping and waking times as much as possible because all the research shows that even if you don't get quite as much sleep, if you can try to stay consistent with your sleeping and waking times, it makes a huge difference. I have been reading the Miracle Morning books. I read them a while ago, and I recently watched the documentary, which I highly recommend. And I'm rereading one of them now and incorporating the Miracle Morning back into my first waking hour. And I love it. I will plan to do an episode on this later. But sleep is really important, and how we go to bed at night and how we wake up is really important. Just keeping that in mind during this busy time, and not just at the holidays, but during any busy season of life, trying to make sure you're getting enough sleep is so beneficial and just supportive of good mental health and good physical health. So, as I wind down today, I want to encourage you to try to slow down where you can this season. It's okay to say no if you're feeling overwhelmed. You can't do it all. Try and check in with yourself often, daily, maybe morning and night if you can, and just see where you're at. If it's been a couple busy days and you're just kind of done, maybe you need to pare down the couple days coming up. Listen to your intuition. Just go with it. It's okay. And if you say no to something this year, remember that it doesn't mean that you'll never do it again. Another example in my personal life is last year, I didn't do Christmas cards. I just wasn't up for it. And I actually don't plan on doing them again this year. Does that mean I will never write a Christmas card again? No. It just means that during the season of my life right now, I'm choosing not to do that. And that's okay. So giving yourself that grace and just remembering that nothing is final. We're always moving and changing. So sometimes I need a reminder of that. Maybe you do too. So I really wish you all just the best December. I love beginnings. So it's the beginning of a new month and it's an exciting month. There's a lot to look forward to. So I think that at the start of December is a great time to just take a few minutes and think about what you want it to look like and how you want to feel this month as you wind down this beautiful year that we've had, 2023. So lots of things to think about, and I'm encouraging you to take the time to do that. So be well, take care of yourself, slow down a little bit, and I hope your December is off to a great start. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and have been inspired to slow down and start living life at your own pace. As a brand new podcast, your listener voice matters. If Let's Slow Down is resonating with you, please take a minute to leave a review and rate us. Subscribe to the show wherever you listen and share it with friends. Remember, this is a process, so go easy on yourself. Be gentle and take all the space you need to thrive, because the world needs you to be at your best, to love and serve others and yourself.